Oh, another one. Another one. War of the Whiteboards. This comes from Beyond the Imaginary Curve. Just a throwaway comment in a previous chat. I thought, hey, that's a good name. I'm going to do this. War of the Whiteboards. I'm going to offer globe believers who have whiteboards to join me in a debate where they can use their whiteboard to explain what they're, well, to illustrate what they're trying and failing to explain. Now, I don't know how this is happening, by the way, folks, but I just keep coming across the most outstanding, ridiculous claims for the globe. So I'm going to carry on. I don't want to say ramming them down Globing's throats, because that's very kind of rapey. But highlighting them to mock the Globelings. There you go. That's better. I'm going to mock globe believers with these things. Greetings everyone in the chat, by the way. And we will see. There's 19 people viewing now. We'll see whether my friend at YouTube is there or not. We'll see. If this remains not many views whilst it's live, then we know that the globe link is in. If not, the globe link, hissy fit, offends, probably gay. Just saying, probably gay, so, you can't offend the gays. God, no. So I'm just saying, that's probably what's going on. Might be a woman that's gay. Just so, for the sexists out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show another wonderful example of the nonsense of the globe. Then I'm going to show Woofy 6020 being a dim-dim and showing everyone that he's a dim-dim and that he has no morals by 1, lying, and 2, using his daughter to distract from the fact that he's lying. That's right, using a 2-year-old toddler to distract from the fact that he's lying. Yes, because that whatever she's called with the autism and the climate change and you being used by the climate change goons. That's a bit. They're using a retarded girl as a human shield to deflect criticism. That's a bit off. Well, now imagine a guy, an adult, a grown-up, that's not part of a corporation like the climate change guys, using his own 2-year-old daughter. Well, that's Woofy 6020. That's what he does. I'm going to show it. And he's doing it to try to misrepresent. That wouldn't be the first time he does something like that. So, where am I? Here. Right. We're going to listen to this fellow. And I'm going to make sure the volume is up. This is another astrophysicist, cosmologist. The name, by the way, is interchangeable. That's right, you heard it here. Yeah, cosmologist, astrophysicist. Just depends who you're trying to impress and how. So, let's listen to this astrophysicist / cosmologist.
Hello wonderful person, this is Anton, and in this video we're going to be discussing the idea of the Hubble constant, the very famous constant that we use to try to establish how fast the universe is accelerating, as essentially maybe not being a constant after all. In other words, when it comes to understanding the universe, we're still kind of learning everything from scratch. Let's talk about this, and welcome to What the Math.
What the math? What the math?
So I remember when I took my first astrophysics class, I was essentially taught that the universe has this fundamental value inside of it that's predicted by Einstein's field equation. And Einstein used to refer to this as his biggest blunder because he couldn't figure it out. There was a number in his equation and it didn't make sense to him. Eventually we realized the local cosmological constant could be an...
I'm going back because there was a little stutter. I want everybody to hear everything that this young man is saying. Because, by the way, he's being very honest in what he's saying.
Thought that the universe has this fundamental value inside of it that's predicted by Einstein's field equation. And Einstein used to refer to this as his biggest blunder because he couldn't figure it out. There was a number in his equation and it didn't make sense to him. Eventually we realized that this so-called cosmological constant could be an actual property of the universe, suggesting that our universe is accelerating with time. It's growing faster and faster and faster the more we progress through time. And this is also something that was only discovered in 1998, and the discoverers of this were awarded the Nobel Prize.
Now, awarded the Nobel Prize? Huh? It seems like all kinds of unworthy people. It's almost like the Nobel Prize isn't really worth anything, really. That's what I'm thinking. Now, you have the diagram on your screen and you have various different things there. See, dark ages. See that? The dark ages? Right there. Like top, well, second from the left. Afterglow light pattern, 375,000 years. Next to that, dark ages. Huh. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. In history, we have these dark ages. What happened there? Don't know. It's kind of, and in the universe, we have dark ages. Oh, but obviously, the cosmologists say no. That's when the heat was so intense that light couldn't even make its way through. Through to what? Well, there wasn't a what to for them to. Never mind that. So, I just wanted to highlight that dark age or dark ages. Let's continue to listen to what he's explaining about how the universe expands.
We're not really talking about this. We're talking about something related to this known as the Hubble constant, or essentially the idea of measuring the speed of expansion of the universe using the constant that we've been measuring in the last few decades quite thoroughly. And to try to understand what Hubble constant means, all we need to do is basically take a look at the Milky Way right here, and then move to the Andromeda galaxy, which is roughly around 2.5 million light years away from us, with the Milky Way being this tiny galaxy you might see right there in the corner. And
now, I'm going to have to shift display type so I can highlight, because some of you won't be able to see what he's referring to. So here, right. Now I have my cursor. Right here, there's some markers, okay, to show that's the Milky Way. That's what he's referring to. It says in the corner there. Right, so, okay. We're talking about the expansion of space and how fast things are getting away from each other.
And then move to the Andromeda galaxy, which is roughly around 2.5 million light years away from us, with the Milky Way being this tiny galaxy you might see right there in the corner. And according to the Hubble constant, at this distance, the...
Now, this is the part that's sublime. Pay attention, please.
Which is roughly around 2.5 million light years away from us, with the Milky Way being this tiny galaxy you might see right there in the corner. And according to the Hubble constant, at this distance, the Andromeda galaxy is technically moving away from us.
The Andromeda galaxy is technically moving away from us. That's from the Earth. So it's moving away from the, in fact, not just the Earth, away from the Milky Way. The Andromeda galaxy is moving away from us in the Milky Way. That's why it's got that highlighted there. Moving away from us at
a speed of about 51 kilometers per second.
51 kilometers per second. That's the expansion of the universe and the separation of objects in the universe like galaxies. Andromeda is moving away from us at 51 kilometers per second.
Based on the constant of 67 kilometers per second for every 3.26 million light years. So essentially, the actual space here is receding from us at this...
Space is receding from us, so it's just getting more far away. You know, that's what happens. If you're at the shore and the ocean is receding away from you, it's going away. If you've got a receding hairline, well, it's going away. That's what receding means. Don't get confused. Moving away. Space. And in that space, the Andromeda galaxy. Let me go back.
Constant of 67 kilometers per second for every 3.26 million light years. So essentially, the actual space here is receding from us at this speed. 51 kilometers per second is pretty fast. But because the Andromeda galaxy is also moving really fast toward us...
Let me play that again.
Essentially, the actual space here is receding from us at this speed. 51 kilometers per second is pretty fast. But because the Andromeda galaxy is also moving really fast toward us...
But because the Andromeda galaxy is moving really fast towards us, so the Andromeda galaxy is moving away from us at 51 kilometers per second. But because it's moving very fast towards us, you just heard that. I'm going to play it again.
The actual space here is...
Let me go back more. So we hear it very clearly.
Right here, and then move to the Andromeda Galaxy, which is roughly around 2.5 million light years away from us, with the Milky Way being this tiny galaxy you might see right there in the corner. And according to the Hubble constant, at this distance, the Andromeda Galaxy is technically moving away from us at a speed of about 51 kilometers per second.
It's moving away from us at 51 kilometers per second.
It's based on the constant of 67 kilometers per second for every 3.26 million light years. So essentially, the actual space here is receding from us at this speed. 51 kilometers per second is pretty fast. But because the Andromeda Galaxy is also moving really fast toward us, technically it's eventually going to catch up to us and collide with our galaxy.
Did you hear that? The thing that's moving very fast away from us is moving so fast towards us, it's going to hit us. Did you? This is the cosmology that is taught at universities, that is believed by astrophysicists, that things moving away are moving toward. So object A is moving away from object B, but object A is moving towards object B.
But because of this, a lot of other galaxies are actually moving away from us and will never come close to the Milky Way. There are very few galaxies that are moving toward the Milky Way, and the vast majority will slowly move away until they reach a point in a few billion years when we...
So, because the Andromeda Galaxy, apparently, or because of the Hubble constants, and galaxies are moving away from us, listen.
The actual space here is receding from us at this speed. 51 kilometers per second is pretty fast. But because the Andromeda Galaxy is also moving really fast toward us, technically it's eventually going to catch up to us and collide with our galaxy. But because of this, a lot of other galaxies are actually moving away from us and will never come close to the Milky Way.
No, but because of this, a lot of galaxies are moving away from us and will never come close to the Milky Way. Good. Those are galaxies moving away from us. Great. Okay.
There are very few galaxies that are moving toward the Milky Way.
There are very few galaxies that are moving toward the Milky Way.
The vast majority will slowly move away until they reach a point in a few billion years when we never see them again. And if you'd like to learn more about...
There are a few that are moving towards the Milky Way until the point that in a few million years we won't be able to see them.
And collide with our galaxy. But because of this, a lot of other galaxies are actually moving away from us and will never come close to the Milky Way. There are very few galaxies that are moving toward the Milky Way, and the vast majority will slowly move away until they reach a point in a few billion years when we never see them again. And if you'd like to learn more about this concept, you can check out one of the videos I made previously. But what is important here is that a very recent study from only a few weeks ago...
Now this is... When I said that this man is being very honest, he's being sincere, he's just saying what he thinks is what he's been taught. He's just reporting what he's been taught. What he's going to say now is in the world of science, is the equivalent to mainstream media pulling the plug on the cosmology of the globe Earth.
Along with several other studies that have been coming out in the last year, started to discover something really unusual. The Hubble constant...
Wait, now I can switch window type so I can look in the chat. Okay.
Doesn't seem to be a constant. It seems to actually change with the location, the time, and the direction we look at. So
this constant appears to not be, depending on all kinds of factors. And those factors change. So it's not like if you're looking at this time of the year in this direction, then you get this result. It's like no. You can look at this time of year in this direction, you get these results. You can look at this time of year in this direction, you get different results, but it's the same time of year in the same direction. Oh, good Lord. It's almost like it kind of depends a bit on who's doing the watching.
For example, the value I mentioned previously of 67-ish kilometers per second is based on the so-called oldest light in the universe. It's based on this, the cosmic microwave background. And this is something we've always taken for granted. However, some of the other observations, for example from the nearby Large Magellanic Cloud, discovered a slightly different constant. I believe it was actually a little bit higher than that. Then we started looking around and discovered even more discrepancy. And so this paper here decided to do something completely different. They decided to just crunch the numbers, basically making it a kind of a blind study where you don't really know the answer until the end. And no matter what answer they get, they're going to publish it based on pure math. Nothing else but math, no corrections. And to make sure that they were getting different results from different locations, they've taken a look at 3 gravitationally lensed quasars that are pretty well known to us and that have been very thoroughly studied already. And these quasars are all listed here, and essentially what you're looking at is some that are pretty well known to us and that have...
Oh, what is it we're looking at here? Could it be into filaments? Oh, good Lord! You don't say. Could we be looking into filaments? Oh, let's listen.
Very thoroughly studied already. And these quasars are all listed here, and essentially what you're looking at is something like this. It's a galaxy in front of another galaxy. The galaxy in front is much closer to us, but because of its mass, its gravity...
How do you know? Because we can't think of something else that it could be. Oh, right, okay.
Only lensing the light rays here, which eventually create the lens that we can then use to observe very distant objects. So there are actually 2 galaxies.
Now, I'm going to quit this and get on my whiteboard. See the distance diagram here? Okay, Earth, beams, lensed galaxy images, okay, the orange beams. Galaxy in the center doing this lensing. And galaxy far away with those curved beams of light. Can you see those curved beams of light to show, well, that's what happens, see? Beams of light just go out, and where there's a galaxy in the way, it makes them like converge conveniently at the Earth. Now I'm going to bring out my whiteboard. Excuse my my voice, which is not as happy and as energetic as usual, because I have actually I should probably try and be all sexy and shitty. Anyway, so that drawing that you just saw, that image, Earth, beams, galaxy emitting those beams, galaxy emitting other beams. You saw them right there. That's right. And the galaxy here that's causing these to join. Great. Okay. But wait a second. We forgot all about motion and distance. Much closer distance, much lesser time of light travelling. In fact, also much lesser time for light beyond that lensing point to travel here. This one, far away. But that's a 2D representation, is it not? Yes. Space is not supposed to be a 2D representation, is it? No. That means this, if we were to change and look from the side, we would have, wait for it, where are you? Where are you? Here you are. Now we're going to look from the side. We would have Earth, yes, Earth, crappy things, Earth, light arriving from the past after bending around the galaxy that's also in the past, galaxy sending that light also even farther in the past, see, like that, but wait, see, See how the light has bent this way? Well, this is a shorter path. Much shorter, this one. It's not possible. Good gosh, when you start actually thinking geometrically, it doesn't quite work. But when you show a diagram like that, you go, oh, it's so simple. Morons. But let's go back to it.
Involved here, one being the lens, and one is the galaxy we're looking at. And the scientists behind this paper picked 3 different quasars, or 3 different very bright galaxies, at a
You see, you have to remember, you know how the stars that we're looking at, some of them might not even be there because they're so old and their light is so old, it's been travelling so far and so long. And right, great. It means the stars aren't there as they appear. No, they're in some different arrangement. And the arrangement that presents itself in our screen above us, that big thing we call the sky, the way they present themselves, according to the globe, it's a result of time. That's it. It's just a result of time and the effects that it's had on light. The actual location of the galaxy behind the galaxy, so there's a galaxy bending the light from a galaxy behind it. It's like, wait a minute, that cannot be a galaxy behind it. That's right. It can't. The galaxy in front, sending its light to us that we're seeing millions of years after it was sent, the galaxy behind it that looks like it's behind it, it can't actually be behind it, not if it looks like it's behind it. In fact, if it looks like it's behind it, the last possible place it could be is behind it. That's right. It must be in some other place in space. Yes. You see, it must, absolutely.
relatively far away distance from us, but all of those distances were different, and all of the lenses were different, but the actual formula used were exactly the same. So technically, if the Hubble constant is constant, they should be getting exactly the same result. But because it's essentially a blind study, the results were not available to the scientists until the end. As you can probably guess from the title, the results were extremely inconsistent. So at a distance of about 4.
The results were inconsistent.
Billion light years away from Earth, the closest quasar had the Hubble constant of about 82 kilometers per second. That's already way faster than what we've previously thought was possible. At a distance of about 6.8 billion light years away from us, the middle quasar had the Hubble constant of 77 kilometers per second, so a little bit lower. And at a distance of 8.8 billion light years, the farthest of the quasars had the Hubble constant of about 70 kilometers per second. So all 3 values were different, but at the same time there seems to be a pattern. The farther away we are from Earth, the lower the Hubble constant becomes, suggesting that if we were to look at another galaxy that's even farther away, it could be closer to that value we see from the cosmic background radiation. And these results suggest that the closer galaxies to us expand a lot faster than the galaxies farther away, while at the same time suggesting that with time the actual constant changed quite dramatically. As a matter of fact, it seems to have increased over time. Now that's of course a bit of a...
Now, for something that's constant to be changing, it kind of deletes the word constant from the definition, or even the term.
Problem for cosmology, but at the same time it's a growing field, so it's expected to have these blunders. And one explanation provided...
It's expected to have these blunders in the theory. You see, you have the observation. The observation is true. It is then processed through a theory. It is in this processing through the theory that the blunders arise. The blunders are not the observation. The blunders are the theory. That's what's wrong. It is the theory that's wrong, not the observation. The theory is just a way to interpret the observation. It means the theory is literally wrong.
So far is that, well, maybe, like the study suggests, It's not a constant after all. Maybe it's actually some sort of a particle again.
Maybe their theory is wrong. This is the thing that they should be saying first. Maybe the theory is wrong and we should scrap it. In fact, not maybe the theory is wrong. The theory is wrong. It's been shown by the evidence, by the proof, by the observation. It's proven the theory wrong. We have to scrap it. Start again. Not, maybe it means this other thing. Maybe it means this other thing. No. Your theory is wrong. Start again.
Is causing all of this expansion. But at the same time, it could also be a problem with our understanding of the gravity itself when it comes to really far away distances. So in other words, we might have to rework the Einstein's models and try to figure out what is it that we're getting wrong from all of these models that we have. In other words, it's actually a pretty exciting time to study cosmology because it looks like we're not really sure what's happening, and there might be a lot of interesting discoveries coming in the next few years once we figure out why it's causing all of these results to come out so different from one another. But
now, I will read a small portion from the Book of the Sun, if I can find the portion, where I explain that the Earth being flat opens up the field of physics and astronomy, astrophysics, yes, physics, astrophysics, cosmology, the sciences. It opens them wide open. That's a lot more brain power that can be used studying it. So a lot more university departments, the university departments will be clamoring to adopt the flat earth theory once they realize that it's going to guarantee work for those departments for a long time, because those departments want to feel useful. That's what universities were set up for, and that's what they all think they're doing. They all think that they are being useful.
For the scientists studying this, only a week ago from when I'm making this video, this new telescope here known as DESI became operational. The telescope whose main purpose is to study very thoroughly the idea of dark energy. In late October of 2019,
to study very thoroughly, it should be to observe, not to study. Although, yeah, there's an element of study which means observing. To study very thoroughly the idea. It's like, no, you've got it backwards. You're supposed to make the observation and then develop an idea of what's happening. That would be the theory.
It had its first light.
Here, this is how this goes. If you have the idea that there are tiny little tap dancing seahorses causing things to happen in space, and you set up a telescope to observe and study that idea, well, lo and behold, you might find things in space that makes you arrive at the conclusion that those things are being caused by, well, tap dancing seahorses. See?
Code essentially was able to take the first picture just to prove that it's working and that it's going to be able to hopefully solve the dark energy problem.
Filaments!
Which also suggests that maybe sometime next year, around the same time, I'll be making another video, hopefully once and for all answering the question of what exactly is this Hubble constant? Is it constant? Did we finally figure out this whole expansion of the universe thing and this whole dark energy thing? And most importantly, how all of this relates to our daily lives. Right now, it really doesn't. But then again, many things in science that we use today and take for granted today were not really that important to most people when we were just studying them.
Now, there's a little bit of a misnomer there. Many things in science and Wait a second. It sounds like technology. Sounds like you're combining science for technology. Now, most technological advances have been the result of lone inventors, not scientists. Lone inventors. So, where he says, so what's the importance? What's the relevance of this? It's like, this has no relevance at all, really. Like, really, it has no relevance. The technology that's developed, sometimes to see if this stuff can be studied, yeah, that might be relevant. But that's not developed because of the theory. That's developed because of the ability of humans to develop things, to invent, to create, to engineer.
In the next few decades, we'll probably find a way to use all of this in real life as well. But until we discover more, that's all I wanted to mention in this video. It's an interesting study. I suggest you give it a read. It's in the description below. For now, thank you for watching.
Very good. This is the channel. There you go, if you want to go and read and so on. Great. Now, let's close that window. Again, if you're a globe believer, I challenge you to debate me with a whiteboard. Okay, a whiteboard. Very simple. A whiteboard debate. What the heck is this? Whiteboard debate. No moderator. No muting. No talking over each other. 5 minutes each for a set amount of goes. And then 10 minutes. And then maybe a 20-minute conclusion. Very simple structure. The reason for no moderators is so that if you're a globelink and you're an imbecile and you keep interrupting and I don't interrupt you even once, then all that people are going to see is that you're a moron who couldn't bear to have truth put to them. Whilst a flat earther was patient enough to listen, take note of the absurdist ideas that were being proposed, and then challenge and dismantle those ideas. See, that's how it goes. You learn more by listening than by talking. Euclidean geometry, the study of plane and solid figures on the basis of axioms and theorems employed by the Greek mathematician Euclid circa 300 BCE. In its rough outline, Euclidean geometry is the plane and solid geometry commonly taught in secondary schools. Indeed, until the second half of the 19th century, when non-Euclidean geometries attracted the attention of mathematicians, geometry meant Euclidean geometry. It is the most typical expression of general mathematical thinking, rather than the memorization of simple algorithms to solve equations by rote. It demands true insight into the subject, clever ideas for applying theorems in special situations, an ability to generalize from known facts, and an insistence on the importance of proof. That's Euclidean geometry. Now, where's non-Euclidean This will all make sense very soon. Come on, whenever you're ready. Non-Euclidean geometry. Non-Euclidean geometry, literally any geometry that is not the same as Euclidean geometry. That being, given that Euclidean geometry is that thing we call geometry, given that that's what geometry is, non-Euclidean geometry, literally any geometry that is not geometry. See? That's the meaning of that sentence. Any geometry that is not geometry. Euclidean geometry is geometry. Any that is not that geometry is non-Euclidean geometry. Understood? Great. Although the term is frequently used to refer only to hyperbolic geometry, common usage includes those few geometries, hyperbolic and spherical, that differ from but are very close to Euclidean geometry. Understand, the non-Euclidean geometry is developed along two different historical threads. The first thread started with the search to understand the movements of stars and planets in the apparently hemispherical sky. Sorry, what? In the apparently hemispherical sky. For example, Euclid wrote about spherical geometry in his astronomical work Phenomena. In addition to looking to the heavens, the ancients attempted to understand the shape of the earth and to use this understanding to solve problems in navigation over long distances and later for large-scale surveying. Very good. Where did he write about spherical geometry? In his work Phenomena. What is phenomena? Phenomena is thing that exists because it is observed, not thing that exists because it is a sphere or because it is far away or anything like that. Simply thing that exists because it is experienced. That is phenomena. When Euclid was looking at the stars, he knew first, did not know what they were. Second, did not know where they were. And he abandoned, he said, not interested. That there is going to yield nothing about where we live. And he was right. Now, hey, that's me. Miracle of the Talking Fish. Here you're going to see a short video clip of me a few days ago explaining the coordinate systems for the Earth and for space, explaining specifically Cartesian coordinates for planes, as in planes, aeroplanes, and planes as in flat surfaces, and explaining the circuitous geometry, heavy emphasis on sarcasm, of non-Euclidean coordinate systems. You're going to hear me explaining it here. Then I'm going to move on to show Woofy 6020, not understanding that I have just literally shown an understanding of the principles of both Cartesian coordinates and non-Euclidean coordinates. He has somehow either not understood that that's what I'm doing, or understood that that's what I'm doing, but hoping to misrepresent for his viewers in the stupid belief that none of his viewers are wise enough to go and see for themselves what I said. What's it called when people overestimate their intelligence? What's that called? What is it? Dunning-Kruger effect, Mr. Woofy. Here's your Dunning-Kruger demonstrated for the world to see. Let's go.
That's all I'm doing. A very rough cube. There. It's a transparent cube. In this transparent cube, there's only a cube for the sake of discussion. You can move, well, left and right, and you can move up and down, and you can move forwards and backwards, or that way and that way. Okay? You might say, but if I turn around, I'm walking forwards. Yes, if you're walking in the opposite direction to where you were walking before, although you're walking forwards, you're going in the opposite direction. The point is directions. Now, these are just the directions outside of this realm. These directions can take place inside the realm too. Any direction that you can think of, including little swirls. Okay? These swirls, in order to calculate swirls and ellipses and parabolic curves, they require non-Euclidean geometry.
Did you hear that? Non-Euclidean geometry. Let's continue.
Why? So, well, let me explain it easier.
let's just talk about just one plane, okay? When something moves along this one plane, no matter what direction it goes, on that one plane, which means it can only move sideways and backwards and forwards, and a combination of the two, but not up and down, just one plane. To find the coordinates of this, you'd use what's called Cartesian coordinates, okay? To find coordinates on a 3D world, you'd find non-Euclidean coordinates. Okay? That's what it is. That's what it means. Now, considering that I just explained that, Wolfie 6020 went on a long, meandering, boring rant about how you can't use azimuth to see whether or not the sun scrolls across the sky at 15 degrees per hour, which the globe Earth requires it to do. Now, if I come back to this and I move ahead a tiny bit, you see, I'm going to read this, me explaining to a dim who happens to be in the chat right now about the lack of 15 degrees per hour. Anywhere on Earth, but it should move much faster in the southern hemisphere to keep the 24-hour day because it has a larger circumference to travel. Here I've answered, I pinned and answered your comment, moron. And here is my answer to him. We're going to reread what he just wrote, okay? Stop dodging the question and answer why the sun moves across the sky at 15 degrees. Come on, computer. Repeater alert. Look, Dim, I already answered that question when you first asked it. My answer was, the sun does not move across the sky at 15 degrees. Sorry, folks. Computer glitch, so I'm going to replay. Per hour, you mindless repeater. Oh. Now I have more. Back. Embarrassed you better. Back some more. Method. It was 100. He writes, and answer why the sun come on, for goodness sake. Has a larger circumference. We're going to reread what he just wrote. Here. Okay? This is to express to Wolfie 6020 that the fact I'm pointing out there's an error in his worldview, despite him not liking me, does not mean that because I'm pointing out the error is not there. That's the kind of gibberish of the cosmology of the globe. I'm pointing out an error. The error is in the belief that the sun scrolls across the sky at 15 degrees per hour. The actual evidence says, no, it doesn't really, no. Not only does it not really, but it's also not constant, so no, absolutely, in both ways, it doesn't. Not only is it not 15 degrees per hour, but it's also not the same number of degrees per hour either, dim, okay? It changes throughout the day. So, I highlight this, Wolfie 6020 makes a video explaining that some flat earthers say it's just on the azimuth. Dodging the question and answer why the sun moves across the sky 15 degrees per hour when viewed anywhere on Earth, but it should move much faster in the southern hemisphere to keep and 24-hour day because it has a larger circumference to travel. Okay. My answer, mindless repeater alert. Look, Dim Dim, I already answered that question when you first asked it. My answer was, the sun does not move across the sky at 15 degrees per hour, you mindless repeater. But now I have more time, and I'll happily embarrass you better. Today at my location, the sun azimuth at 8 a.m. was 124.72 degrees, and 9 a.m. 137.69 degrees. That's 12.97 degrees in 1 hour. The missing 2.03 degrees must be hidden in sun elevation, right? Elevation at 8 a.m., 5.44 degrees, at 9 a.m., 12.08. That's 6.64 degrees. Let's check with someplace else, like say Quito. Same 8 to 9 a.m. period today. Azimuth, 8 a.m., 107.60, 9 a.m., 111.20. That's 3.6 in 1 hour. Well, that's even more wrong. Must be an elevation thing owed to Quito's proximity to the equator. But nope. Elevation, 8 a.m., 29.48 degrees, 9 a.m., 43.63 degrees. That's 14.15 degrees. Now let's compare it with Murmansk, not close to the equator. But this time, let's check the hour between 9:25 and 10:25, because the sun rises at 9:18 there. 9:25, 135.57, 10:25, 149.67. That's 14.1 degree difference. Elevation, 0.09 and 3.02. There you go, Warren Evans. You're a brainwashed, mindless zealot repeating dogmatic nonsense. Now, go and say 12 Hail Marys and 3 Our Fathers, religious moron. So I'm going to show that. Now, I'm not going to bother showing it again. It's already there in the video. If you've not seen it, you can go and watch it. It's called Miracle of the Talking Fish. Oh, wrong way. Now, let's go back to Woofy's video. First, I'd like you all to see the comment I left, because this is the second time I leave a comment like this one. The other was slightly different. Okay? It's not there, it disappeared, oh gosh. Wow, what morals you have. Using your daughter here like the climate change goons used that poor autistic girl. I will show, after I've played this small portion, this cherry-picked portion of Woofy.
So the moral of the story here is that you cannot use the horizontal coordinate system, elevation changes or azimuth angle changes over 1 hour, to accurately measure the angular rate of movement of the sun.
Over 1 hour. That's the part he forgot to say. So I'm going to play it again.
To determine the angle with elevation.
Wait, let me go back. He really is very, very tedious and boring, poor. Ugh, just, well. Right, come on. Here. The moral of the story. Given that he's watched me explaining Cartesian and non-Euclidean coordinates, showing the difference between the two.
So the moral of the story here, coordinate system.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Elevation changes.
Stop fucking with my system, YouTube. Let it play fine.
So the moral of the story here is that you cannot use the horizontal coordinate system with elevation changes or azimuth angle changes over 1 hour to accurately measure the... It just doesn't work that way.
I'm going to keep playing it until it plays all the way through, so keep going.
So the moral of the story here is that you cannot use the horizontal coordinate system with elevation changes or azimuth angle changes over 1 hour to accurately measure the angular rate of movement of the sun. It just...
Over 1 hour. You see, That's the small little part that he has left out. You cannot use angles over 1 hour to accurately measure the angles over 1 hour. Because you see, we globelings, we keep repeating it's 15 degrees per hour. In which case, if you check per hour and you find that it's not 15 degrees, you'll then say, why do you keep repeating that bullshit about 15 degrees per hour? See? Now I'm going to show what I meant about him using his daughter. Watch. Aye.
The moon. Yeah, we'll put that away in a minute. What shape is the moon? Is it a square? No. Is there a...
Very cute girl. Very, very sweet, cute child. What the hell are you doing using your child like this, you corrupt soul, you? What are you doing in a video where you are misrepresenting what's been said, when anyone can go and see what has actually been said? Okay, now here he's not showing the name of my video. No, this is put through another half-wit globelings who doesn't understand that light from the sun is not directional like light from a torch. That's Wally. He doesn't understand that the sun does not have directional light like a torch. So he's done this so his viewers won't go and see what it is that's been discussed. Instead, he's explained flat earthers think this, and flat earthers think this, and flat earthers think this. The moral of the story being, you can't do this, because I just showed this equipment showing things, and if you add them all up and take away, and you add this and you change this and you alter this and you consider this, and then, well, you can say 15 degrees per hour. However, if you actually look, it's like, oh good gosh, it's not.
So the moral of the story here is that you cannot use the horizontal coordinate system with elevation changes or azimuth angle changes over 1 hour.
Azimuth angle changes over 1 hour? That's stupid. Azimuth with elevation? Say, hello, isn't that what your equipment does? Yes. Oh, right, so what he's saying, because this is the equipment he's been talking about, is this, the EQ mount. What does that do? It checks azimuth and elevation angle. Wait, what? Huh? I think that checks azimuth and elevation angle, and that you can watch over 1 hour. Oh no! You're a bad dude, guy. You know it. You know, and guess what? Guess what? Your wife will learn it. That's right, she will. And she will do to you what Mel Gibson's Russian wife did to him. Ha ha ha! It would be very funny to see, moron, because you deserve it. That's right. That's right, I just said it. That's right. Now, what was I going to do? Nothing. I was just going to look in the chat, actually. So, video. Here. There I am. Hey everyone in the chat. Oh, Warren Evans, you keep going on and on with your misunderstandings of the world. You can make as many claims as you like, but you have no evidence that has not been debunked. Look, Warren Evans. I've been showing your cosmology saying, galaxy getting farther away, but getting much closer. That's it. That's it. Now, if you think that you can debunk that, go ahead and debunk it. But in the meantime, I'm going to say, and I mean this, all the people with the wrenches, okay? I'm going back to the old thing. So let's see. Put user in timeout. That's right. This is what I'm going to ask everybody with a wrench. Warren Evans and any other globe propagandist, if they try to propagandize, time them out and let them know that in order to propagandize, they have to do it through Super Chat. $10 minimum. Okay? I'm not going to take that $10 because I haven't set it up, the whole thing, for collecting the money and all of that. And the point is just to put them off, just to frustrate them a little bit. Hey. Plana Frontal, how's the Book of Time going, Antonio? Slow. It's taking its time. Dan W, shout out to you, dude. The good old timeout. That's right, Dan. Unsalted 667. That's like a religious mantra to the ballers. It's all already been debunked. Amen. Oh, the thing about these sometimes. Okay, so I'm Libra and I reserve the right to do this. Okay, I go from one extreme to the other, mentally thinking, you should just fish slap them all, just as thoroughly as you can. And then, yeah, but they're suffering because they're lost. Yeah, but fish slapping them will let them get their feet on the ground. Yeah, but forcing them to do that is a bit harsh, really. You weren't forced to put your feet on the ground. You put them on the ground yourself. Back and forth, like Gollum. That's right. But without wanting to squeeze people's necks and stuff like that. Now, those poor stupid fools that believe in the globe, when you show them what their belief in the globe means, in a way they hadn't thought, they hadn't seen, they hadn't perceived, otherwise they would no longer believe in the globe. Bigfoot Squad BWPP, hi. When the globeling is forced to face the monstrosity that they believe in, instead of realizing it's a monstrosity, they say, you're corrupting how it's being presented to me. That's what happens. Instead of them going, this is a bit messed up, something that's growing increasingly distant from something else cannot simultaneously be moving towards that same something else. In this very hangout, I played a Russian astrophysicist explaining how the galaxy of Andromeda is moving away from the Milky Way at 51 kilometers per second, but towards the Earth, so that in a few million years it will crash away, but towards. That's the cosmology of the globe, guys. I know some of you globelings will be thinking, no, there's a lot of thoroughly strong, valid truth to the globe. You've been thinking that, globelings, but you're wrong. The gyroscopes don't drift. The idea itself is massively flawed, and the evidence says, no, the idea is flawed, bitch. So how about you start growing up, globelings? Because this is, I'm going to make a prediction. I love making predictions. Dan Falconback's in the chat. That's Flat Earth Genius Society. He likes making predictions too. Right. Here's a prediction. I make it in the Book of the Sun. What will happen is academia will get a hold of the whole idea and start looking. They've already explained the Earth is flat. They've already said it. But then said, but of course it's still spherical. And the universe is flat. As in, they've literally said, What we mean when we say the earth is flat, we mean that's academia already. Warren Evans, if you want to propagandize in the chat, make it through super chat. I will then read your comment out loud. Okay? Okay. And I give you one more try because you're a big time waster. If your next comment, you try to slip it in the chat without the super chat, I would just ban you. And goodbye. You can go and use your time somewhere else. Now, academia are the ones that have already started saying what we mean when we say the earth is flat. And what we mean when we say the space, the universe is flat. What we mean when we say that, what they're doing is first repeatedly saying the earth is flat and the universe is flat over and over. This is how eventually they stop the portion of the explanation that's to do with sphericity. They will move from the explanation that they've been purchasing their ideas on of sphericity. They will first address those ideas about sphericity on non-Euclidean coordinates as a step to the truth. The truth being, the stars are not local bodies in space, but light in filaments. That's what they're saying. These are not the electric universe academics. These are the theoretical physicists, the cosmology academics. You still have the old ones, and they will just wait for them to retire, like that Guth guy. They will just wait for them to retire and then just completely just poo-poo their work. They say, and they used to think these things. They used to think galaxies moving away and towards the same body. So away while towards, not away to a point and then towards. No. Away whilst towards. So academia will be the ones that will embrace it much sooner than the mainstream media. They will start teaching it at universities. And here's the big prediction. What they will start teaching at universities will be what's in my book of the sun and my book of time. That's what they will be teaching, and they will have the evidence for it. There you go. That's what's going to happen while you're alive. Troll Evaluator. I've not seen you before. You're going to have a wrench. He's making a comment to Warren Evans. Warren, I've warned you before about using weak and unscientific arguments. Which version of the globe cult Bible are you working from? Filaments in molecular clouds. The molecules, look, the molecules, the things that they've been describing as molecules, are the crossing over points of filaments. The filaments don't just have one direction. The energy that comes down. The energy that goes up, goes up. The energy that goes up horizontally, and all of the other directions, all within the flat universe we live in. So you have light, light, light in all directions. Where beams, filaments, cross over, if you were to look and isolate where they cross over and say, oh, that looks like a molecule. So Helen Degenerates, when you say filaments in molecular clouds, like, this is why. Because the molecules are parts, basically small bundles of filaments. And sometimes you see the filaments. You actually see them. There you go. One of the guys in the chat shared a video yesterday. I was watching it and he pulled it halfway through, or YouTube pulled it. It was just showing filaments reflecting on metal. Just, there you go. Let's take a look at the filaments. David Banner says, I like the evaluator already. Yeah, me too. Right, folk, that's it. I'm freaking... I've got a cold and it's crap. But I just wanted to fish slap Woofy 6020. It's been trying to get my attention. It's been desperately trying to get my attention. Cooey, Antonio! Oh, please, I don't bat that way, boy. Warren Evans. Oh, see, look, Warren Evans, I know you're hearing, okay? Remember when a couple of minutes ago I said, if you try to sneak another comment through the chat and you don't make it through the super chat, I will ban you. You've just made another comment in the chat. I'm going to read it so you can have that little reward. And then I'm going to ban you. You see how you've just shown that you're stupid? If you didn't want to make any more comments, which is what's going to happen when I ban you, then you wouldn't have made this one. Instead, you're going to be forced to not make any more comments because I'm going to ban you. That's counterproductive to what you wanted, which was to make further comments. Do you see how that goes? Now, this is your comment. Andromeda is spinning like a frisbee. Irrelevant. Half is moving away and half is moving towards. Wrong. The entire galaxy is moving away at 52 kilometers per hour. The whole galaxy is moving towards us. Wrong. It's moving away at 52 kilometers per hour. Thank you. Come again. But not really, because I'm banning you. Dumbass. Just, you see the mental gymnastics that these guys get into. Jesus Christ. We're looking at the constant and how space between things is, well, elastic. It just keeps expanding. Look at Andromeda. It's expanding at 52 kilometers per hour. But wait a minute. The other side of it, moving towards us. Oh, that explains it. Or even, that side's moving at this rate, but this one coming towards. You're freaking morons. You're so stupid. Globe believers, you are so stupid. You're going to entrench yourselves for a while longer, and you're going to hold firmly, and you're going to ridicule yourselves. You will berate yourselves, then you will get over berating yourselves, and then you will forget that you berated yourselves, and you will say, I knew it was flat all along. Knew it since I was a toddler. That's what you will do, because you're full of shit, and you're weak, and your soul is thin. That's right. Unsalted 67. Press 1 to ban the baller. Lots of people pressing 1. I've already banned him. See? I think... preemptively. There you go. You have got mail. Scaris, thank you. I saw your message yesterday. In the chat, I saw your... In fact, I tell you what, I'm going to show it. I saw your message yesterday. And you were asking for my email, but it was too late. I couldn't reply to you. So now I'm going to check my email. And there's a Jimbo Con writes, Hello, Jimbo Con. I wonder if you're Warren Evans under a different handle. I'm just wondering, you know. So, right. So I'm now going to look into my email, see if there's the screen grab that Scaris mentioned. Let's see. It's going to be interesting. in case, Scaris, in case you didn't send it to this email, I'm just going to take a look now. My email is Antonio Subirat Arts, so plural, arts, at yahoo.com. I'm waiting for my mail to open. I hope you have. Who will be there? You might have emailed a different, I think you've emailed a different place. I don't see it. Let me look in spam. So Scaris, Antonio Subiras Arts at yahoo.com. I don't see it. So, yeah, please resend. Well, not resend. Send to the other address, the one I just gave you. Tell you what, I'll write it in the chat. Then you can just cut and paste. Numpty writes, at the Book of the Sun, hi, has your book had any good reviews? Almost all of the reviews have been good, by people who've read it. Even, wait for it, Sam and Dan. That's right. He doesn't agree with it, of course, puts his whole world into chaos. So, Still closer, right? So the guy that won the Nobel Prize for the Hubble constant is going to return the prize? I doubt it. Scary, so I hope you're sending the email. Thanks, Gary's. Jimbo Con. Oh shit, Subiras, what's up, man? Didn't even realise this was your channel. Don't know who you are. Sorry, dude. Jimbo Con. How to get the book? It's not available right now. Oh, I need to edit typos and whatnot. When it's available, I'll let everybody know. QNFI? What? Where's QNFI? Numpty, I've looked for reviews and nothing comes up in the search. Very good. In the search, the Book of the Sun come up. Just answer that question. When you wrote the Book of the Sun, did it come up in the search? Paste a link to the search. Miles Davis. Oh, gosh. Here, I just realised. So, remove moderator. Then, This is Miles Davis, just for you. But you're saying timeout. Now, if you would like to make any comments that are propagandistic regarding the globe, please do so through Super Chat. Jimbo Con. Yes, never watched it before now, only heard of you a lot. Okay, cool. Well, welcome. Unfortunately for you, I've got a cold and I'm feeling a bit shitty and I'm not enjoying this as much as I usually do. Yesterday I enjoyed it a lot. The day before too. Earlier today I enjoyed it more too. But hey. Numpty. No, only the book of the new sun came up. That's right, Numpty. So, you did a search for the Book of the Sun. I assume you did a search for the Book of the Sun by Antonio Subirats. And you didn't find anything. Even though it's sold, and it's sold online. Right? Where would that be? Now go to Holland and Barrett. No, wrong one. Not Holland and Barrett, dagnabbit. Go to Waterstones. Online, go to Waterstones and write the Book of the Sun by Antonio Subirats. You'll find it there. Still closer, you have to pay 10 quid at Miles Davis. That's right. I read one review of the book that was so good, I thought, wow, this guy can write. But I lost it. He sent it to me by email. I was like, wow, that is good. Dude, I want to read this book the way this guy's describing it. Okay, I nearly said your name, Scaris. Whew. Thank you. Now I'm opening. Take a look, see. Let me see if I can see it. Don't have it. I'm having to download it. Give me a second. So what I'm going to show is a comment. It's in German. There'll be the German readers there that can translate what it says. I've been told what it says. So please, German readers or German speakers, translate what it says for the chat. I hope you guys in the chat are making sure that the globe links aren't propagandizing. Let them know. $10. $10 to propagandize for the globe. Oh, come on, computer. So I've clicked download this GIF, PNG, sorry, this image, this screen grab, and my computer's saying, sorry, I've just got to install this malware spyware. Like, oh, okay, go ahead, install it. Just let me see the. I'm joking. Right. Let me have a look. It's opened. Let me see. Lee Redpath. Good gosh. Right. Hey, dude, if you're in the chat, in case you didn't know this, Right, let me change the ratio, the whole thing. Good gosh. Well, I feel flattered, honestly. Just give me a sec. Let me sort out windows and whatnot. Scaris, dude. Thank you. If you don't speak or read German, you don't really need to. You'll get the gist. I've got my, the system is just taking its time. I'm going to show it. I did not even know this was possible, what I'm about to show. I didn't know, well, possible. I hadn't actually thought, yeah, I hadn't stopped to think, hey, I wonder if this is possible or not possible. I didn't. Rune Thorson writes, who is German here? Come on, sister, stop being... Baller tax, still closer. 10 quid, the baller tax. That's right. I'm going to call my next hangout the baller tax. Flat Earth Data, greetings. You're saying use BlackBerry Silans? I don't know what that is. I'm on a Mac, so I really don't know. Right, where am I? Here, I can close this. Ich bin eine Berliner. you've been a Berlin hamburger. Okay, wait. Display capture. Here we are. Right, so let's take a look. See, this is me. God, I look knackered. And this is, oops, I don't want to show you things. Right, this is more horror. Not so long ago. Okay, hey, there's a map down there. Right, here is the chat. So this is my hangout, okay, called More Horror. Okay. Mark Collard, handsome truth is a shill. It's good. Negative image, Book of the Sun. Scary, so many screenshots proving you really are worth being censored. Handsome truth is a shill turd fetishist. Lee Redpath wrote something. Nachricht von Google Moderator Team gelocht. Google Moderator Team? It looks like it says deleted by Google Moderator Team. That's what I think that means. I mean, I could be wrong. Huh? Good. Come on, stop being silly. Nachricht von Google Moderator Team gelöscht. Interesting, huh? Guys with wrenches. Lee Redpath is a good guy. So, guys with wrenches, in my chat, moderators, some of them have had their comments deleted by Google Moderator Team. In my chat, that's just an interesting set of circumstances, is it not? Thank you for that, Scaries dude. Just interesting. Numpty, at the Book of the Sun, did you say that they'll be teaching your book in school soon? No, I did not. I said they would be teaching in academia what I explain in the Book of the Sun. Will they say, this comes from this flat earther who wrote this Book of the Sun and this Book of Time? No, they won't say that. They will be teaching what I explain in those books. That's right. And the thing is, everybody will know that it came from those books. In fact, I'm going to combine the books and it will end up a bit like Goldenstein's book in 1984. Especially the next one I write. That's right. Anyway, I'm now looking in the chat. Scaris, dude, thank you for that. Now, numpty, just take a break. Flat Earth Data, haven't bought your book yet. I will one day. I have to reprint them. But I like to hunt. I haven't spent a lot of time on the sun. You like to hunt. Good. I mean, do you like going out and doing stuff? What do you think is the title for Earth is Flat and Man is Psyop means to you? That is just such a cool. That is just such a good. What do you think the title, The Earth is Flat and Man is the Psyop, means to you? What that means to me is man, that we would just think, oh, it's just the male version of the race. There's a female and the male, regardless of what the transgender say. And there's the man one, and what the man does is, oh, wait. Man is a psyop. It would be human. Human is a psyop. Oh, wait a second. Could that mean the psyop is thinking, believing that you're a human that has to work and suffer and stress and strive and struggle, and really you're an incarnate spirit. The psyop is making you forget you're an incarnate spirit, because really that's what you are. You've been made to believe this psyop that says you're human. That's what I think, Flat Earth Data. Anyway. Someone is keeping an eye on you at the Book of the Sun. Conan 68. Yes, sir, they are. So you've got the vast majority of the... No, wait. Let me take that back. You've got some of the American and some of the British full of shit flat earthers that try to kind of push a narrative and exclude people who don't push that narrative. Okay, me being one of those. There's many that don't push that narrative, but me being one of those. Those guys have tried to like isolate, cauterize, and smear. It was the same tactic the Nazis used and the Stalinists. Just smear. Oh, watch them go away after we smear them. Fortunately for them, it's like, nah, that's not going to work here. Including Bob Nodell, who recently was made to face one of the maps, and his response was an angry face. Like, dude, you're a retarded stupido. Anyway, God Ratify, why did you change your channel name? You only got 2 times to change it, unless you did not go through Gmail. God Ratty? Why did you change your channel name? That's for me to know and for you to wonder about. You only get 2 times to change it. That's very good. Okay, wonderful. Thanks for the question, though. So Conan 68, yes. I know right now some of the people watching are those morons from FE Core, because they're so empty of ideas. They try to glean ideas from other people. In fact, that's basically what they are. They're a combination, and I'm talking about the inner core, okay, not the outer, not the useful ones that actually can think a bit, okay, who are being corrupted by the inner core. Inner core, they're so empty of ideas, all they do is try to siphon ideas from other places, hodgepodge them together and try to present something. Unfortunately, because they haven't got a clue what they're doing and they're not their ideas, they just produce a pile of, well, a cake, a pie of shit. A shit pie. That's what they produce. And now they can't even repeat any of the things that I say in the Book of the Sun, which means, unbeknownst to them, they're ending up being, well, painted out of the picture. Because I'm just going to be explaining everything as it is in the real world with real things that real scientists can test. And here's those guys over there going, but the Gleasons, a small son. If you go east, if you wait, if you east. So yeah, yes, I know I'm being watched, not just by the Google guys. There'll be other agencies and whatnot. But yeah, the invisible flat earther, wide awake. You're gonna have a wrench too. Yeah. Obviously not so invisible. Have you seen how many views yesterday's video got? Why can't everyone agree if we all have the same evidence? Agree on what? That bats was a dude who hijacked a lovely woman's history and name. Oops. Anyway, right. My back is... I need to crack my back. So Numpty, why can't everyone agree if we all have the same evidence? Look, Numpty, the world... Look, okay. Why can't everyone agree if we all have the same evidence? Should we all agree that the most beautiful woman in the world is Jessica Biel? The evidence is there. We can all agree on it. Because she is the most beautiful woman in the world. However, if she started telling me about astrophysics and about the world being a sphere, I'd have to say, no, Jessica. Sorry, I just had a picture of me doing a long, complicated argument where I end up, no! Anyway, I'm having a better time. God Ratty. Not a flat earther, but I still love your content. Also, your hair looks better than mine. Oh, dude, I feel sorry for you. This looks better than that. Globebusters rocks! Writes Rick. 1976, 1970. Globebusters sucks. Rick. That's right. Globebusters, Rick, I know you're pretty new. Globebusters are a crock of shit. Charlatan shills. That's right. How can you tell this? Because some of them work for Truth Frequency Radio. Who's Truth Frequency Radio? Well, they're owned by Disney. What do Disney do? They push a lot of globe propaganda. That's right. Yes, that's right. You might say, I didn't know. Oh. And also, Rick, they do push the Gleasons. Remember, they're not so great. So just thought I'd point that out to you. You know, just like I like making globe earthers face the truth, I like making flat earthers face the truth too. Jimbo Con, Art Bell, they got rid of him. Yes, they did get rid of him. They did get rid of Art Bell through smear, by the way. In case you didn't know, that's what they did. They used smear to get rid of Art Bell. Yeah. Unfortunately, smear campaigns work against some people. And that's why they use them. Angel Fire 451, Globe Knots. The Book of the Sun. Did Bob Nodell ever admit the map him and his wife were doing was wrong? No, they did not. Did I admit my map was wrong? The first one? Yes. Within about, I think it was 4 weeks of having published it, I realised it was wrong. And I pulled it and I explained that it was wrong, so I pulled it. I then made a second one. And then I pulled that one very quickly after because I realised, damn it. That's when I saw the truth. I thought, great, now I can draw it properly and I can take my time and really draw it properly. And that's what we have now. I messed up with Australia and New Zealand in the one that's in the Book of the Sun. But that's more not to do with how things are placed, more to do with me and how many things I was juggling at the time and putting things together. Just an oversight. Now it's fixed. The ones in the ones in my Patreon are fixed apart from New Zealand, which is farther north. I have one here. I showed it in the video I made for Romania. I have it here, like literally here, right here, on the table next to me. But I've got it glued down because it's a big map and there's a drawing table. I will be showing it to everyone soon. What was I going to say? Yes. So the totally correct map is in the video I made for Romania. So go and see it if you want to see. It's only there. It's not small frame. The only difference really, not really. The only difference is New Zealand, which now is confirmed to be where it is on that map. Right, anyway, let me see. My God, I really need to crack my back. Oh my God, you were wrong. But no, Dell is a scientist. Yes, you see, Angel Fire, this is one of the things people don't realize. And why I kind of laugh sometimes when people say that I'm a narcissist. Like, look, stupido. Narcissists cannot acknowledge their mistakes. They're perfect. They can't acknowledge their mistakes. I'm an artist. I have to acknowledge my mistakes, otherwise I won't be able to depict things accurately. I have to acknowledge them to myself first so I can depict them accurately, which means undoing things that have been wrong. And if I'm presenting things, I have to express this to the people. You can't be a narcissist and a realist artist too. You can't. You cannot. You might appear to be one because you're incredibly arrogant or but you won't be. A real narcissist cannot acknowledge mistakes. Now, is Nathan Oakley a narcissist? Yes. Is Bob Nodell a narcissist? No. Bob Nodell is stupid. He's not a narcissist, though. Is he a shill? Yes, he is. He doesn't know it. He doesn't know how he's being manipulated. Just like Math Powerland doesn't know how he is being manipulated. I think he does, but he's now in a position where he's like, how do I work my way? How do I live with this manipulation? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking that he's thinking. But who knows? God Riley, I will stay, but I have 3D models for a game I'm working on to do tonight. Dude, God Ratty, you know what? When your game is ready, make a tiny little video clip of it. Pass a link. I'm giving you a wrench. I know you're a globe link, but you seem a nice guy. If you make a tiny little promo vid, pass a link when you're ready. I will show it. I will promote it. I will take a look at least. If it's horrible, then I'll say this is horrible. But if not, yeah. I'm looking through the chat. Patrick Shank. Okay, here. I'm giving you a wrench, just in case there's a rogue wrench there that wants to block you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share. Let me see how. Give me a second. Let's see. Meridians. I have one with meridians already and I'm going to show it. It's in my Patreon, if anybody's interested that doesn't already know. It's free to download. You don't have to donate or pledge or anything like that. And what I'm doing now is I'm going to go into my Patreon and open it and show it in the Hangouts. Explain why they are the way they are. And then I'm going to wrap up. Excuse me. Jimbo Con. You also don't like how David pushes his app. Jeez. David is... if there's anybody other than... So, if there's anybody other than that imposter, the transgender imposter, that I know is a shill, there are two people that I know absolutely, like, there isn't any doubt, is David Weiss and a woman called No One's Flower. Her channel is No One's Flower. One second. Have a good night, Jean. Rune Thorson, show the 9/11 clip again with DITRH. Now, it's a hassle finding it, and it's in one of my Hangouts there somewhere. Yeah, he's talking. So David Weiss is talking, reading from a script. You can't see him because he's being interviewed on the radio, but he's reading and he jumbles his words out. He jumbles the words up and realizes he's jumbled them up. And also he's caught just fabricating extra emotive things, like, yeah, one of the people that died, good friend. Yes, Roxanne, Live Club Tour, Dan W, yes. Mark Sargent, yes. But what I'm saying is, without any doubt whatsoever, to me, aha, right, give me a second. So this is for the guy who wanted to see meridians. Arwin isn't a shill. No, Arwin is a patsy. Karen B, I don't know whether shill, no, not shill for sure, but in terms of agents, I don't know whether agents or patsy. Don't know, one or the other. But corrupt, I know for sure. For sure. Like, not, you know, if you're in a conversation and this person is crying and you're saying to this person, dude, that's terrible. And this person, yeah, it is. And later you mention, I was in a chat and this person was crying and I said to Karen B, dude, that's terrible. And Karen B says, that's a lie, that never happened. That literally happened in the real world. Right, so... I tell you what, guys, it's been an interesting time for me in this flat earth malarkey. If I could go back, to be completely honest with you, if I could go back and not go through the experience with the imposter, I would. I'd give that a miss. I would rather not know than know. In that case. So, right, okay, I've got the place open finally. So apparently there will be a debate with Mr. Incredibly Boring, calls himself Mr. Sensible. There will be, well, I say apparently there will be. He's going to get back to me on Friday. But, like I said to somebody, it wouldn't surprise me if that didn't happen. It wouldn't surprise me if other people communicated with him and said, do not debate him. If he's a patsy, I think he's a patsy. I don't think he's an agent. I think he's a patsy. They will say, don't debate him. You'll only give him attention. We don't want to give him attention. He's brainwashing people. Don't give him attention. That's what I think will happen. Auntie Meg, what's the reason for me saying the lady no one's flower is a show? 1, she told me her family works for the CIA, but were retired. She's in her 50s, okay? 2, she knew David Wise before the whole flat earth stuff. Made the mistake of saying, when David Wise started looking at the flat earth stuff, he was like, oh my God, this is so weird. He told her, and she was at home, and she said to, oh my gosh, this friend of mine says the earth is flat, and this is before he had any kind of podcast and stuff about flat earthness. He was doing podcasts about 9/11 and other shillery. She called him on Skype on a thing, and he explained it to her family at the dinner table. How did she know David Wise before any of the world knew David Wise? Really? How did she know him? So, close. Just a second. So, what I'm going to show the meridians for the equinox period. And then I have the meridians for the December solstice and the June solstice. Unfortunately, I included both the sunrise and sunsets, and they are confusing. What I should do is, and what I will do, is do the June solstice dayrise and the June solstice nightfall on separate maps, and then the same for December. But first I'm going to show the equinox. Right, give me a second, people in the chat. End your fire for 5-1. That's a good theory. I doubt it though. If it was a shill, I doubt I would have had that many views. They would have tried to make sure that that I didn't have views. Views is not a good thing for their camp. Right, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. And if I'm mistaken, I'm mistaken. You know, we'll see. We'll see. Right, display. Yes, here. Ah, that might be it. Wrong one. Here. Right, so equinox period. This is the period, the weeks in which areas on Earth have a 12-hour day and 12-hour night. It does not happen in the same 24-hour period or even the same 48-hour period. I made a video extensively showing this. Even time and date are now acknowledging that the equinox does not happen on the same day for different regions on Earth. I made a video showing this. Okay, let me talk you through these. This region here, you see this nice stable banding. It takes an hour for the sun to cross any of these. So between any of these two lines is 1 hour of sun travel, including these big wedges here. 1 hour to cross. In the north, they look quite stable. There's very small discrepancies, hardly discernible at all. In the south, in this region, the populated areas, you have to bear in mind, the sun takes 24 hours to arrive, to rise and to set, roughly speaking, but definitely for sure in the equinox period, 24 hours between sunrise and sunrise. So here in Brazil, 24 hours between this being dawn and the next day, this being dawn. What the sun has done in regions outside of this, and when I say the sun, I mean the high frequency point we call the sun. It isn't a point in the sky that has location in the sky. It's a point in a field that has a level of frequency. It's a holoprismatic nexus. I'm working on a way of showing this in a 3D model. And I don't mean a 3D computer model. I mean in the 3D world. Now, oops, 1 second. Oh, there. An hour between any two of these lines. Okay, I'm going to zoom in on this region here. See this distortion here? This happens to be where there's this anomaly, these series of lines, Lydekker, Wallace, well first, Wallace, Huxley, Lydekker, and I forget the other. Here, there are these anomalous fauna lines. This frequency of magnetism that is so strange that creatures won't cross it. I'll show it in a different map I have. I mean tonight in this hangout. This is it. This is the field or the array along which just one form of the array along which the sun travels. It might look to some of you like like field lines on a magnet. Magnet has field lines that go in both directions. You have to remember those directions are not the same thing. And I'm going to show this also with a magnet and video in the real world. These the lines and the direction in which the field increasing the luminosity of the sky moves. When the field moves that way, here, no, wrong one. When the field moves that way, when the field moves across, the clouds in the sky react to it by flicking up, because the lines that go down towards the earth that push things down, and people call it gravity, those lines also push things up, and some of us call those things trees and mountains and clouds and insects. Right, this is the wrong one. Let me get the other one. So what I want to show you, what am I to, yes, the map. Oops. Brilliant photo, by the way. That is just such a cool photo. Wish I thought of it. Right, so I want to open these maps. So here we have, God, only two, the heck. Right, we'll close this. Here we have meridians with just some of the latitudes, and that's the shape of the latitudes, by the way. I'm looking for a map that has, oh, the anomalies. It's on the main page. Sorry, folks. Here you are. Anomalous fauna boundary lines. Lydekker's line, this green line. Weber's line, this pink line. Wallace's line. This was the first. This is the person who wrote to Darwin about creatures having this incredible ability to adapt to their environment. That's right. He preempted Darwin's speciation or differentiation within species that Darwin called evolution. This guy, Wallace. And here you have Huxley's modification, this area here, to Wallace's line. So Wallace found that this region here, there were creatures that were not crossing this blue line. That includes insects, birds, other creatures that could cross those lines. Okay. Now you have to bear in mind, in this region here, there are 17,000 islands. Okay. So for birds to not cross islands that are sometimes 50 meters away from each other is strange. Anyway, this region here is where Huxley came along and said, I think there's a boundary between these islands here too. They're very interesting. This here that I'm circling is the Philippines. In the Philippines, they have a miracle of the sun every year. That's right. Remember how there was distortion here to the lines of longitude? That distortion is caused by magnetism. That magnetism also causes a distortion with the sun, to the point that when it's rising on certain days within a certain range within the field, it will flicker, it will leap, it will separate into two and rejoin. It will do all kinds of marvelous, amazing things. It will cast amazing rainbows, all kinds of phenomena associated with the sun and with light. That's from the Philippines here. Right, so there you go. That's it. Folks, I'm bailing. I'm feeling freaking shattered. So I'm going to have a quick look in the chat. No, I'm not. I'm going to do this. Yeah. So those are in my Patreon. My Patreon, if you're interested, is in the description to the video you're watching. You can just hit that, go to Patreon, and some of them are in small folders. You have to look for the folder. It's a tiny little acronym, tiny little thing, and others are just there on the actual page. Jimbo can. Everyone should be tucking feels, but not many are. Look, yeah, yes, absolutely they should. Here, this is just one of the things that you'll find in the Book of the Sun. Okay, if you go to physicists and you ask them to explain what they mean by field, you will not get a straight answer. They will tell you they don't really. It's just a term for expressing a set of circumstances that can allow a phenomenon to manifest. So you're talking in the field of economics, in the field of astrophysics, in the field of gardening. Oh, that's too herbal. In the field of gastronomy, there's this field, and they say it's just this nebulous thing that can be various different things. The field of physics is an array. It is something that has a structure that has not been defined until the element that does the defining, like the radiation or the sound or the whatever it is that's causing a phenomenon, causes that phenomenon within an array that's pre-existing. In the field of gastronomy, you have a set of parameters, including it's about food, it's about cooking, so there's a set thing, a set number of preset arrangements or arrays. In the field of the day, like in the day field, there is an array. This array is an array of filaments. These filaments are charged, luminesce when energized. They are energized by charges. Those charges are electromagnetic. And those electromagnetic charges go on to luminesce and cascade and cause the illumination of noble gases, or the phosphorescence of noble gases, and various different things by virtue of there being charged filaments. The filaments don't require the noble gases. The noble gases are charged by virtue of the fact that the filaments are there. The filaments are basically the array the physicists call the field. So when you say more people should be talking about the field, say yes, but they should be talking about the field understanding that it's not just a thing that things can happen in. It's literally a preset arrangement of filaments. It is an array of filaments. If you energize horizontal filaments, the filaments that will manifest phenomena will be horizontal. If you energize vertical filaments, and so on and so forth. Okay, that's in the Book of the Sun. Guys, I'm bailing. I'm shattered. Right, that's it. Good night all. Ciao. No, not ciao. Adeu. That's a bad habit. Adeu.